ladies and gentlemen, from St. Petersburg, Florida, please welcome Danielle Collins. From Puerto Rico, it's Monica Puig.
Well, everybody values and covets the opportunity to compete at the highest level of their chosen profession. You could be in any sort of endeavor and want to be up against and compete with the best. It doesn't have to be sport, but certainly sport is the primary area where we often sort of associate this sort of action. For this day, Danielle Collins has that opportunity. She has found her way into the main draw of the first premier mandatory event of 2017, and she's up against Puerto Rico's Golden Girl in doing so. Not a lot of experience from the Florida native. Collins ranked 248 in the world, but she will covet the chance to get out there, hit, and compete on this opening day of the 2017 BNP Paribas Open. Once again, a warm welcome, tennis fan. We're happy to have you alongside for what we anticipate will really most likely be a chance for Puig to find excellent form and be able to move through the second round. But Sophie, then again, we also know that's why you lace them up, you step out on the court and you compete, because you just don't know what can happen. And who's to say that Collins can't create some disturbance here in Indian Wells?
Well, and I'm sure, you know, Monica Puig is probably a bit worried in the fact that she really doesn't know this player very much. And you know, some homework can be done, but until you really face someone you've never played and, you know, you see them really on the tour, it's very hard to tell what's really is their weakness or their strengths. But this tall woman is definitely has some strengths in the sense of, first, I think her first serve is pretty flat, and she can probably give some problems for Monica Puig here today. And it's the nerves that are going to play for her, because it's new territory, and you know, it's a different feeling when you go from, you know, being in school and college and changing into the pro level and the pro tour. But I think she's very excited of being here. Who wouldn't be, right?
Absolutely. Why not? One of the premier destinations for tennis in all the world. One of the biggest events for the women in particular. One of 4 premier mandatory events on the season. A couple of appearances at the U.S. Open. Really just a minimal amount of match play at the WTA main draw level. We'll chronicle that as the match unfolds. But first things first, business to attend to at the net court.
6 balls, ball change is 7-9. We're using Hawkeye on this court, so if you want to challenge, please do it in a timely manner, especially between first and second serve. Preferably say challenge, so I don't miss it. Same if you want your coach, please say coach. And we have TV changeovers on this court, so please stay seated until I call time. Any questions on that? No? Your choice. Tails or heads? Heads, please. Heads? Tails. Serve? Okay. That's it. Yep.
Welcome back to coverage of the 2017 BNP Paribas Open, nestled amongst the foothills of the Coachella Valley, very close to 29 Palms and Palm Springs. It's Indian Wells Tennis Garden, as it is round 1 action featuring Monica Puig, 23 years of age, from Puerto Rico, and Danielle Collins, 23 years, from the United States. Tennis fan, come on inside the big house as we see our 3rd match taking place on this court, as we look once again the women's top half of the draw in action on opening day. Karolina Pliskova occupying the very top spot at the top of the draw, literally, as world #1 and top seed Serena Williams withdrew from Indian Wells and Miami, both respective tournaments, due to a knee injury. That moves Pliskova into that position, and we see that Puig and Collins, well, that's the next matchup for the 3 seed sitting in this position. And Sophie, we know this match, as we talked about time and time again through the day, experience paying off so much. There's a wealth of discrepancy despite the fact they're both 23, much of it favoring the experience of Monica Puig, the Golden Girl from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you have to favor the experience, as it happened earlier when Flipkins beat CC Bellis. It was all about experience. And but she's, Monica Puig is searching for that, that great run that she had in the Olympics, and still searching for those wins. I mean, she's a great player, amazing backcourt, position. Loves to come forward, to use her forehand inside out as well. I mean, the lack would be maybe a little bit of her serve, the second serve, which I would expect somebody like Danielle Collins to have done her homework. And I'm sure she's seen her play, because if you're in tennis, you've watched the Olympics. If you watch the Olympics, you only saw that woman who was so exceptional last August. So I think that, the advantage for, Collins would be to probably jump on her second serve. But for Puig, it's going to be trying to stay consistent, see what the little, the newcomer is going to do, on the stage that she's never been into.
Semi-finalist at Doha 3 tournaments ago for Puig, and of course the 2016 gold medalist at the Rio Games. The Puerto Rican native makes her home in Miami, Florida, site of the next premier mandatory event. Also from Florida, St. Petersburg, just up the left coast of the peninsula that hangs down from the southern United States, is 23-year-old Danielle Collins. If you haven't heard of her, well, let's give you a little bit of information. She's 205 ranking spots below her opponent today. She only has 2 career main draw matches have been played at the U.S. Open, 2014 and 2016. Sophie lost both of those. Really, not a lot of play at this level that can be daunting in some respects, but then again, for Collins, this is a no-lose situation. She's not expected to do much today.
She has absolutely nothing to lose. She's one of the wild cards here in the tournament. There were 8 wild cards, if I'm not mistaken, and 7 of them went to American players. And
that's correct.
She's definitely, she won the NCAA twice, in 2014 and 2016. I'm pretty sure as a player, which is pretty amazing already as a record, and from I think University of Virginia. So she definitely has a lot of play under her belt, but it's different. It's the Pro Tour and college tennis is totally different, but it's huge experience. And she mentioned it. If you have a chance to look at some of her interviews, she talks about the fact of the experience that she gained from playing in college and playing all these matches, and now coming onto the real big stage of tennis. She feels confident that she can do well.
Yeah, that collegiate accolades that she experienced certainly bode well for her as she matriculates into this level. By the way, Miriam Bly in the chair, having already done her duties, now climbed the ladder. But for Collins, the fact that she won 2 NCAA titles, only the 7th woman to be able to do so, and she was Collegiate Women Athlete of the Year last year, it gives her something of confidence. But again, how is the adjustment from that level to the speed, the drain of traveling week in, week out, trying to make main draws? How does that affect the transition from one level to another?
Well, I think when you go to school and you have to play tennis, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of tiredness. You travel too with your team. I mean, it is different because obviously you're playing players who probably don't give you as much on the court. I mean, the unforced error are reduced. I mean, they're more study, especially with somebody who has such experience as we see Monica Puig's coach, Jorge Todero, if I'm not mistaken. Juan Todero. Jorge is his father.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Juanito says, that's mi padre.
And Jorge was coaching, I think, Michael, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, going back to, Puig and Collins, I mean, the experience is huge, on the tour, and we saw that with CC Bellis earlier. I think it takes time, but I think what she went through and CC Bellis didn't is going through, the collegiate aspect of tennis, which I'm sure it's a big help. Yeah,
we're starting to see more and more success by collegiate players as they take that little extra time, maybe not ready and don't want to get sort of burnt out, not getting the results. But nonetheless, for Monica Puig, she knows she has experience on her side, playing for her 94th career main draw win on the WTA Tour against a player who's playing just her 3rd match overall and has yet to produce a victory. So we'll see how that bears out for the result on this day that does see one of these 2 players move on to face the woman in the top spot of the draw, Karolina Pliskova, runner-up at the U.S. Open last year, in fine form already this season with 2 titles to her credit. But that's for another day, 2 days away to be exact. Today, under the sun, Puig and Collins battle next at the BNP Paribas Open.
opponent call for the trainer or goes to the bathroom. That's an additional one, but technically 1%.
Back inside the big house, they could refer to it as center court. They prefer stadium number 1 in Indian Wells, and that is the main showcase court. Come a week from Sunday, the championship will be decided, both men's and women's tennis of this combined event. But we're just getting